Check, check, check. Check, check. Check, 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 check. Are we on mic? Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Hi, buddy. I need this blanket. Oh, you're such a good boy. I know, I need it. I need the blanket. Okay. Be nice to the yoga mat buddy. You can't just hang out there. I mute you. I mute you. Don't start running now, nose. Hello and welcome to Cosmic Yoga. Today is our Taurus new moon grounding flow. So if you are unfamiliar with the astrology and you're watching this somewhat in the vicinity of May 9th, 2024, the Tuesday prior to this Thursday session, we had a new moon in Taurus. And new moons are always a really powerful time to be able to manifest, to make a list of things that you want to call into your life and have a little extra oomph to those wishes. But the Taurus new moon in particular is really good because it's an earth sign and it's a very grounded, very in the body earth sign. And so anytime we can take manifestations that are kind of like up here in the ethos and feel like they're coming down into the physical form, that's going to bring a little extra power to those wishes because they're not just like kind of living up in daydream world, they're more embodied. So we're going to do a flow that's dedicated to that energy. It happened Tuesday night, but the energy of the new moon sticks around for about 48 hours afterwards. So we're kind of just under that deadline if you're watching this close to the time of the live streaming. But even if you're watching it later, it's always good to bring the concept of grounding your manifestations and your more spiritual practice, because spiritual practice can be very up here, not only in the head, but like almost in, again, like the ether around you. And that's great sometimes, but we want to have a balance of both heaven and earth, so to speak. So anytime you are working with a spiritual practice, if you're meditating a lot, if you're doing breath work, if you're just kind of doing a lot of visualization of your future, you want to make sure that you're also balancing that out with eating grounding foods and being present and grateful for the life that you have, and having this juxtaposition of the wishes and the magic, as well as remembering that you're a physical being on this planet for a reason. So this flow is going to be a little bit about that. It's also going to be dedicated to a lot of the things that Taurus is known for. So I'm a big fan of Taurus energy. My sister, my best friend, a lot of the people that I attract into my orbit is Taurus because I need their grounding presence. They also are, in my opinion, the unsung intuitives of the zodiac because they're so grounded that when they give you intuitive advice, it kind of just sounds like they're being bossy because they can tend to lean that direction. But ultimately, you'll find, much to your chagrin probably, that the Tauruses in your life are actually right about most of the things that they're trying to be bossy about. So listen up to those grounded Taurus, and maybe they don't have the best, most gentle delivery of the information that they have to give you, but take it into account. It might be something that you want to take into your perspective, just like you would going to a psychic and getting a reading. The other great thing about that energy is that it tends to not be this like woo-woo, we're just going to go with the flow type psychic reading. It's more of, this is what you should do. This is what you need to, this is the action that you need to take to move this forward. So I'm always appreciative of that. As someone with lots of air and water in my chart, I need people in my life giving me grounded, embodied actions. So we're going to really take this flow sort of slow and low to the ground today. And we're going to add in a little element of digestive help towards the end because Taurus are known for liking to have snacks. I believe that every Taurus that I know loves a good charcuterie board. And it's basically kind of that same element of being grounded, because when we eat, when we nourish our physical bodies, we become more present in them. And so I have no shame about those Taurus snacks, but they do tend to want to move some digestion. So we're going to use a blanket for that. So what I want you to do is, just to get it ready, because you might use it for a couple of the poses that we're going to do beforehand as well, take a blanket, a normal sized blanket for the most part, and fold it hamburger style. So when you put it long end over to the long end, and then take the edge of that and then fold it into thirds. And then once you've got that shape, you'll roll it into this little package here. So it should look about this shape, depending on the size of your blanket. And essentially, I will cue to this a couple times throughout the practice, but the best part that we're going to use for it is towards the end when we do a little digestive assist from it. If you don't have the blanket, you can skip the part at the end, and basically anything before that that you want to use the blanket for, or that I say to use the blanket for, you can use either blocks, or another prop that I have on hand here is my little foam roller that's about the same size and shape. It doesn't work really well for the digestive assist later because it's a little too firm, but it'll be the placement for blocks or other props that I use the blanket for. So if you do have blocks on hand or a foam roller on hand, you might grab that as well. And as you're grabbing those things, we're going to set up for the first pose, which is just a nice reclined posture, because Taurus energy is all about luxuriating and not afraid of a good afternoon nap. We're just going to take this rolled up blanket and place it one of two ways. If you want to go a little more gentle, you're going to place it vertically down the center of your mat. If you want to go a little deeper into this heart opener we're going to lay that back into, you can place it horizontally. So if it's vertically, you're going to just lie back into a supported fish so your shoulders wrap around your bolster. I'm going to go with the horizontal because it's a little bit deeper, but not too deep because it's a soft blanket. If you're working with a foam roller or a block, it might be a little more intense. And you're going to, if you have the rolled up blanket horizontally, you're going to aim the bottom tips of your shoulder blades around that blanket and then reach for opposite elbows overhead as you lay back. If you've got the blanket going vertically down your mat, you can also take that opposite elbow reach, or you can reach the arms down to your sides. I like having this one because it gives a little extra opening underneath the arms. And then you're going to either keep the legs extended long, or if you want to add in some hip opening, you can take Baddha Konasana or butterfly legs. If you want a little broken bridge for a little closed hip alignment, you can plant the feet to the outer edges of your mat, let your knees fall inward. As you settle in, just let your body sink into the blanket. I like the blanket for this particular flow because it doesn't feel quite as intense and it gets a little extra coziness going on here. So for Taurus energy, when we want to feel cozy, again, it's all about being comfortable in your physical form. So take a few moments just to notice how your physical form feels. Relax any tension that you don't need. Allow your belly to move with your breath, signaling to your body that it's safe to come out of fight or flight mode and to come back into your body. Yawns are always a good sign that you are engaging that parasympathetic nervous system. Continue to let the belly move with your breath. Now, every zodiac sign is ruled by a certain body part. So Taurus is the neck and the throat. So this is giving us a little bit of a throat opener here. But just to add on to that, I want to give you the option to release that grab for opposite arms overhead and start to warm up your hands. And then just gently place them over your throat. Almost make a little like butterfly and just let them rest there. Again, I mentioned that Taurus can be a little blunt with their wording. And that does have a little bit to do with the fact that they are ruled by the neck and the throat chakra. So that throat chakra is, well, it could be open or closed, but a lot of times it's a little more open. And it can be so open that it's harder to watch the wording of things. So if you have a Taurus friend or if you are a Taurus and you find that your words come off a little harsh, I personally know enough Taurus to know that you don't mean it that way. It's just that your throat chakra is so open that it's not filtering out the stuff that might be not received as well from your listener. You also might find if you've got a lot of Taurus energy that you have a lot of neck tension or jaw tension that goes to play with that. And there's several things energetically that's happening there, but if you want to give yourself a little massage in the neck or the jaw, that can sometimes be a physical sign of the need to control things because Taurus energy does tend to be a little stubborn. Because you are so intuitive and you're so often right, you kind of want to have things the way that you want them. And that can lead to some control issues. So if you ever feel that your neck and your jaw are kind of locking up a little bit more, you might take a look at the areas of your life that you're trying to control. And that goes for the rest of us when we're in a Taurus energy as well. So with that in mind, take a little morning stretch and just lift yourself up off of your blankets. And we're going to move the blanket off to the side so that it'll be handy later, but you don't need it right now. And we're going to move into our low and slow flow. So start with a tabletop position. And in your tabletop position, really find some grounding. So I'm not going to cue quite as much to the grounding as I did to like our Pluto retrograde a couple weeks ago. But just know that grounding is going to be important for a lot of the poses that we're going to get into because you want to feel supported enough to indulge in the stretches that we're going to take. So don't think of the grounding as like trying to like activate all the muscles and really strengthen things and feel stressed out about it. Think of the grounding as like a support for what you're about to do. So as you ground down into your hands, your knees, the tops of your feet, that's going to be the support as you start to warm up your spine. So keep that support in your foundation as you inhale, drop your belly for a little cow pose, open your heart. Exhale, round through your spine, tuck your chin, engage your low belly slightly to tuck your tailbone. Again, making it nice and easy movements, but still maintaining a sense of really rooting down into the mat without being too effortful about it. As you flow back and forth through your cat-cow, if you want to add in some neck circles, because that's helpful for that Taurus neck energy, or some hip circles, feel free. Nice and easy movements, but again, not so easy that you forget that you are here, a physical being on the planet. Root down into your foundation. And then gently bring yourself back to your neutral tabletop. And from that neutral tabletop, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up off the mat, find a little core engagement, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Pull your hips up and back. Hello, Bane. As we find your down dog, take a few moments to pedal in, sway through side to side. You haven't noticed I have my sweatpants on today. This is not necessarily really a workout clothes flow, so if you showed up in those sweats, that's okay. Coziness, luxuriating, and feeling really good in your body and your physical being is really the key here. Then from here, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your feet behind your wrist, find a ragdoll. So a ragdoll is really the embodiment of that being grounded so that you can find fluid energy everywhere else. So root down through your feet, soften the bend of your knees, and then either grab for opposite elbows or clasp your hands behind your head if you want to find a little more decompression in your neck. And just let everything from your hips down through your torso start to feel a little more limp, like a noodle. But the reason you're able to kind of shake everything off from that upper body is because you feel grounded in the lower body. So let the anchor down through your feet and the strength in your legs with those bent knees kind of bounce you about. And then gently release your hands down towards the mat. And from that position with your hands down towards the mat, you're going to walk your feet out to the outer edges of your mat. Now, this is where a block or a more solid foundation is going to come in handy. I'm going to use my foam roller, and you're going to take it into Malasana with an option to sit down. I like to sit down because it's not quite so effortful. Again, we're going for grounded, but still easy. So as Bane gets a little breath of fresh air and you find your way into this Malasana, ideally with a block or something solid underneath your tailbone, you can do a stack of books as well. Take a moment to notice the foundation. So walk the feet out far enough that you can ground your heels. And then notice if you're gripping your toes, give them a little wiggle so that they don't feel like they're so active. Press to the ball mount behind your big toe and to the outer edge of your heel. And once you feel that grounding, squeeze your heels slightly down and in, and you'll feel your legs turn on a little more. Then activate your outer thighs to pull your knees back so your outer thighs are really keeping that hip opening, and draw your shoulders down your back. From here, we're going to take a little neck stretching. So drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. I'll try to be your mirror image while we're here. Keep the shoulders drawn down your back as you relax your jaw and stretch your neck that direction. And then gently drop it over to the other side. Keep your shoulders drawn down your back. And then gently bring the head back up. And we're going to add in some arm variations. So start by bringing your right arm down at a 45-degree angle, left arm high, so you're spreading your collarbone wide. You can stay here, keep your toes ungripped, nice and soft. If you want more, you can take a half bind and reach around to the outer edge of your hip crease. If you want more still, you can try for the full bind. Now, you don't have to take it all the way. You can just hook your wrist behind your ankle. Or if you feel called to do so, you can see if you can clasp your hands behind your thigh. Lean back so your collarbone feels like it's nice and open, and keep your outer thighs active so that left knee doesn't fall in. And then if you want a little more for that neck, while you're in the bind, it's a little easier to stretch it out. Drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And then gently bring it back to that open arms. Bring your hands back to heart center. Switch it to the other side. Left arm down, right arm high. Spread your collarbone wide. Keep your outer thighs active. Relax your toes. And then if you want it, half bind around the small of your back towards your bottom hip. If you took it on the other side, try for the full bind. Either hook your wrists or clasp your hands, but lean back so you're not hunching forward. Ungrip your toes, soften your jaw, and if you took that neck stretch, drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. And then bring it back to those open arms. Bring your hands back to heart center. And drop your hands down towards the mat. Straighten through your legs. Point your toes forward. Move your block, your bolster, your books, whatever you were working with to the side. And then slowly start to toe heel your feet a little closer together. Now, traditionally, we say big toes to touch, a little space between your heels. If you want hips width distance apart, if that feels more grounded for you, take that. And then soften the bend of your knees and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, stretch around your spine up to stand. So this will be one of the few times that we are actually standing. But as you come upright, again, we want to find a grounding foundation underneath the feet. So inner ball mounts, outer heels press down. Find a lift up to the front side of your body, but try not to be too active. It's just an active support of your muscles. So you can really think of this in your core. So core engagement. You can feel like you're really like bracing yourself, like you're going to get punched in the gut. You can feel like you're totally relaxed, or there's something in between. We're looking for something in between here. So just a soft engagement, the low belly to lift the hips up, soft engagement of the upper core to shift the shoulders back. And then bring your hands together at heart center, close your eyes. Now again, we are working with a post-new moon energy. So if you didn't happen to do a manifestation list underneath the actual new moon, feel free to select in your mind 1 or 2 wishes that you would like to come true, that you would like to bring down from the ether into the physical world. Give yourself a moment to really appreciate and enjoy the energy that these wishes have. So imagine what you'd feel like if they were actually in front of you, actually in your body, on your body, around you, depending on what that manifestation is. Again, keep it simple. I'd say no more than 3. 1 is perfect if you want to just focus on 1. But just feel how your life shifts when these things become physical and form around you. And let a little smile come across your face because it's good energy. And then we're going to use the breath to call in that manifestation and let go of something that you're ready to release as sort of an offering so that you can make space for something new. So take a deep breath and fill up with that energy as if you already had these things in the present moment. Exhale, let something go. If you want an ujjayi breath, look into your lips. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out through your nose. And then gently blink your eyes open. Send your hands down to your sides. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, reach up. As you reach up, again, keep that soft engagement through your belly so that you're tucking your tailbone down like you're trying to grow roots from the tip of your tailbone down towards the earth. Then exhale, back bend, open your heart towards those manifestations. Lift up nice and tall. Draw your shoulders down and keep your low belly engaged to press your hips forward. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into high plank. Now we're going to keep it nice and grounded. We're going to take it all the way down to the mat. So lower all the way down, elbows tucked in. So you're engaging those triceps on the journey down. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Lift your thighs and knees with that engagement. Exhale out your stale air. Inhale, baby cobra, peel your chest up. Keep pressing into your tops of your feet, but little to no weight in your hands. So the shoulder blades are peeling down, the tops of your feet are pressing down, and that's helping you find the leverage to lift your shoulders higher. Deep breath in. And exhale slowly, return your forehead down towards the mat. As we find this, we're going to take another variation on Cobra. This one, we're going to take some shoulder rolls. Reason being, we're just going to loosen up that upper back and neck area, but we're also going to give a little belly massage as we do these shoulder rolls on our journey up and down. So think of rolling your right shoulder up and back as you lift slightly up, then left shoulder up and back as you lift a little further, right shoulder up and back as you lift up. So it's like they're circling up and pulling you up, left shoulder up and back, and then find the height of your Cobra. And then take it circles back down. So left shoulder down and forward, right shoulder down and forward, left shoulder down and forward, right shoulder down and forward. Do that until you can rest back down. And then this last round, we'll take it to an up dog. So tops the feet the mat, lift your thighs and knees as you press into your palms and lift your heart forward. So it's just your hands and feet connect to the mat. My sweatpants might be touching down, but my legs are not. And then exhale, downward facing dog, pull your hips up and back. So we're going to take that Sun A linking breath to movement. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Maybe your feet are hips width distance if that feels more stable. Inhale, halfway lift. Take a moment just to reset the spine before we flow. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach up. Exhale, back bend. Open heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into high plank. You can take the chaturanga into up dog. You can drop down to your belly and take that cobra wherever you are. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pull your hips up and back. One more time. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward, nice and grounded through your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach up. Exhale, back bend, open heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, chaturanga, or just all the way down to the belly and take your cobra. Inhale, up dog if you want it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving on, inhale, kick your right leg high. Am I going to do my right leg? I'll do my right leg. I'm used to doing mirror image, but I'm not facing towards the camera, so I'll do the same leg. As you take that right leg high, you're going to bend your knee and open up your hip. Ooh. Now, this is a great indicator of that aforementioned needing to control things and Taurus energy. So not only does the jaw tense up when we're trying to control things, but the hips tend to lock up as well. So as you move this right leg around in whatever fashion feels good to loosen up that hip, check back in with your jaw. And if it tensed up, let some of that control go. Then inhale, three-legged down dog. Drop your right hip down and straighten through your leg. Exhale, low lunge. Sweep your foot between your hands. If it takes a couple toe heels to get it up there, feel free. Once the foot is underneath your knee, drop your back knee down. Inhale, kneeling warrior with your hands to your thigh. So again, I'm not going to cue two super active legs, but I do want you to feel grounded. So feel that right foot and left knee press into the mat. Feel your low belly engaged to peel your hips up so you feel your tailbone lengthen down. You can even grab onto your hips and feel that physical tuck if you would like. With that tuck, you might already feel a little stretch on your back hip flexor. We're going to take that a little deeper, melt your hips forward and down. So again, the grounding here is not so much about really activating the muscles in your legs. It's about feeling stable enough to enjoy and luxuriate in the stretches. So get enough grounding, get enough core support for your belly to be able to sink the hips forward and enjoy that stretch. Keep your breath steady and strong. And if you want a little more, you can press into your front thigh and start to peel your heart to face up a little more. If you want more from there and you still feel grounded under your legs, you can reach for the sky. If you want even more, you can goal post your arms and imagine someone pulling your forearms back so you feel your heart open. Whew. Stay grounded. Keep that top of your back foot pressing into the mat. Feel your left glute engaged to keep your left hip pressed forward and then grip your front toes. Relax your jaw. And then inhale, rise back up. Hopefully that was enjoyable. Exhale, half splits. Extend your front leg. If you do have blocks or books or something that you want to place your hands on here, sometimes that helps to lift your chest up a little bit. The goal is to keep a flexed front foot and a flat back. So if you can see here, the alignment from my hips to my crown is relatively flat out. And we want to make sure that we have a flat back because that keeps the stretch in the legs. So as you inhale, reach your heart towards your toes, straighten your leg as much as feels good, active front quad. With your exhale, imagine a hook pulling that right hip back. Oh, fold deeper. Now, again, this is about enjoying the stretch. If you're clenching things up, take a time to come out of it, find some blocks, find something to place your hands on, and we're going to find that stability underneath the legs, but then we're going to take a deep breath in and really let yourself sink into the stretch. Enjoy the sensation. Be in your body. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Then from here, easy twist. So as you crawl your hands forward, plant that left foot inside your front foot, pick your back knee up, and reach your right arm high. Now, if you want to check in with that top hand to your sacrum, you want to try and keep the sacrum level to the earth, just like you were when you were in low lunge. So try to level off the hips, maybe reach back up, maybe take a half bind. If you want to grab on behind the small of your back to that opposite left hip, you can help pull it up in space and keep it there. Keep your front knee over your ankle. Keep your back leg as straight as feels good. With your inhales, imagine your crown being pulled forward so you have more length in your spine. With your exhale, let your right oblique twist your right shoulder back and plug your shoulders down your back. So if that left shoulder tried to pull forward, pull it back down your back. Support yourself. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Now, anytime we're twisting, I like to add in a little neck stretch. If it doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. But dropping your ear down, oh, might get a little pop. I got a little pop there. Feel free to bring it back to neutral. Reach your right arm back up towards the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to take this into Horizon's Lunge. So if you've never done Horizon's Lunge, don't worry, it trips up a lot of yogis. You're going to think of flexing your feet. So flex this front ankle. Rock onto the knife edge of that foot as the foot spins out to the side, and then you're on that knife edge, the pinky toe side of your foot. Then you're gonna spin onto the knife edge of the back foot as well. So let that knife edge of your back foot come down, keep your ankle flexed because it's gonna help you feel supported. Now, normally this pose would be hips lifted. Today, I want us to drop the hips down. Now, if you notice when I did that, my front foot slid back a little bit just because my hip was a little tighter. It felt more comfortable there. If yours does that, feel free. Just keep the ankle flexed. If you find that you can't drop your hips all the way to the mat from this position, feel free to keep them slightly lifted. It's just going to be a little more active. This way, we're having a little more juiciness to the stretch. Ideally, your arms reaching back, but if you want to take it to that front thigh or the front shin and gently assist in that knee falling open slightly, we're getting not only the outer IT band stretch that's supposed to happen in Horizon's lunge, but because the hips are dropped, we're getting a little side body stretch as well. You can even grab on to that front foot if it feels like it really is inching back so that you can just stabilize it. Soften your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Breathe into it. Again, the goal is to kind of think of that right knee falling open, but the ankle still flexed. This might get into a little sensation in your outer hip, glute, outer IT band area. At the very least, again, if the hips are dropped down, your side body on that left side is getting a little love. Soften your jaw. Sometimes it helps to do that, what I just did, and stick your tongue out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now from here, we're going to do a little bit of a break transition here. And then we're not going to do this in the flow, but because we are kind of nice and cozy here, drop your left elbow down to the mat. And we're going to take this into a pose that a yogi friend of mine likes to call laying on the couch pose, watching TV. Take your peace fingers of your right hand, hook them around your right big toe, and then send that right foot up. Keep yourself from dumping into that left shoulder, so try to pressure yourself away from the earth. And if this isn't accessible, if your leg is like not quite flexible to be up that high, you can drop it a little lower, grab for the calf or the hamstring. But hopefully to some degree, you can have this out there. Ideally, it's pointing straight up towards the sky and you're pressing your hips slightly forward so that the hips are stacking on top of one another. And again, ideally, you're not dumping into that shoulder like I just did. So feel free to correct that if you did. A little hamstring stretch, little hip opener here. Still got that side body stretch on the bottom ribs. Again, a yogi friend of mine calls this watching TV on the couch, but it's a great way to just add in a little stretch while you're watching TV. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Then we're going to gently plant that right foot back towards the mat where it was for the Horizon's lunge. And we're going to try and mimic that Horizon's lunge shape again. So plant your palm back to the mat, flex your ankles, let the knee fall open. We're going to lift the hips up for that normal Horizon's lunge. This will be where we're at for the flow. Then inhale back to your easy twist. Sole of the foot comes back to the mat. Walk it back underneath your knee if you need to. Exhale, plant your right palm, step back into high plank. Maybe you take it into chaturanga. Maybe you take it all the way down to the belly. Either inhale, up dog or cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pull your hips up and back. I don't know about you. I'm starting to sweat. I'm regretting the fan being off and the sweatpants being on, but that's okay. We're going to do the other side. So I'm going to flip myself around to the opposite direction. I'm also going to turn my fan on. I hope that this doesn't really affect the audio. So as you find your way, you don't have to change positions. I do so that I'm still facing remotely towards you. You're going to take yourself back to your down dog. Inhale, kick your left leg high. Right away, bend your knee, open up your hip. Oh, again, relax the jaw as you find whatever movement helps you open up that hip joint. Let go of some of that control. And then inhale, three-legged down dog. Drop your hip down, straighten your leg out. Exhale, low lunge. Sweep your foot between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, kneeling warrior with your hand to your front thigh. Just like the last side, it's about grounding, but not grounding so much that you're like, oh. So press into the mat, top of the foot, back front heel, back knee. Squeeze everything up and in so your tailbone tucks down. Once that tailbone's supporting your low back and your low belly's engaged, I got a little fall to the wall there. Go ahead and melt yourself forward. Enjoy the sensation in your hip flexor. Ungrip your front toes, but press a little more into the top of your back foot. Keep that right glute engaged to help press your right hip forward. Deep breath in. Soften your shoulders and your jaw as you melt forward. Deep breath out. Enjoy it. Enjoy the sensation. If you're not enjoying it, come out slightly so it's more enjoyable. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then inhale. Oh, actually, I didn't even offer. Arms up, elbows out. If you took one of those, deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then inhale, come back to your kneeling warrior. Exhale, half splits. Extend your front leg, hands to the mat, hands to blocks, whatever helps you to feel like you can find that alignment of a flat back. Once you've got your flat back and your leg extended nice and long with your inhale, reach your heart towards your toes. With your exhale, imagine someone hooking into that left hip crease, pulling it slightly back so you can fold deeper. Oh, again, don't go so far deep that you can't enjoy it. Relax your shoulders, soften your jaw. Breathe some space into the back of your leg. Reach your heart towards your future. And settle a little deeper as you breathe out. And then from here, we're going to take it to that easy twist. So inhale into the easy twist. Plant your right palm inside that left foot. Pick your back knee up as you tuck your back toes. Reach your left arm high. Again, maybe you check in with your hand to make sure your sacrum is still level. Don't let that left or right hip drop down. Maybe reach up. Maybe take the half bind. Wherever you are, straighten your back leg. Sink your front knee over your ankle. With your inhale, find more length through your crown. With your exhale, twist a little deeper. If it felt good as you were twisting to drop your ear towards the earth, feel free. I got another pop there. That's always nice and satisfying. Then bring yourself back to neutral. Reach for the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to take it to the horizons lunge lazy version. So flex your ankles. Again, come to the knife edge of your left foot, knife edge of your right foot. And as you drop your hips down, if that front foot scoots back, that's okay. Find the position that can help you find something similar to this shape. If it helps to place that left hand on your foot to keep it from dragging back too far, feel free. Keep that ankle flexed as you let your left knee fall open. Keep your back leg extended nice and long behind you. Draw yourself up out of that front shoulder so that you feel the side body stretch. Stick out the tongue. Let go of the tension in your face and jaw. Enjoy the sensation. Notice if you're crunching your eyebrows. Let that go. Sign that we're trying to control stuff there, or at least control our thoughts. Find a relaxed face. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then from here, we're going to take it into that lazy laying on the couch pose. So drop down to your right elbow. Grab your peace fingers around your big toe. Start to extend that leg high. Maybe it doesn't go all the way straight. That's okay. Try not to dump too much into that bottom shoulder. Stack your hips as you press that top hip forward. Draw the heel to point up towards the sky as much as feels comfortable. Draw your shoulders down your back. Ooh. Getting a lot of sensation in my side body stretch here. Soften your face. Lengthen through the back of your leg as your heel grows high. And let your ribcage melt a little heavier. And then gently place your left foot back out in front of your body like you had it for that horizons lunge. We're going to take it into the active horizons lunge. So right hand to the mat, flex through your ankles, come up onto the knife edge of that back foot, let that left knee fall open, reach for the sky. Actually, reach for the back wall would be technically the pose. Then inhale, come back to your easy twist. Oh, walk that front foot forward if you need to. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into high plank. Chaturanga if you want it. I'm going to lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. We are going to flow through that. So you can take it at your own pace. If my pacing doesn't suit your flow, feel free to take it a different way. Inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, kneeling warrior, take it to your depth. Maybe that's reaching up, maybe it's goalposting your arms. Inhale, come back to kneeling warrior. Exhale, half splits. Maybe you airplane the arms if you're feeling balanced. Inhale, easy twist, crawl it forward, back knee lifts, right arm high. Only if you want it. Exhale, active horizons lunge. So the leg stays lifted, you're come to the knife edge of both feet. Inhale, come back to your easy twist. Exhale, chaturanga if you want it. down to the belly if you want it, or you can just hold high plank like I'm going to and skip the up dog entirely. But if you are doing it, inhale up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, kick your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, kneeling warrior, back knee down. Find that support as you rise and find your depth. Exhale, half splits, extend your front leg. Inhale, easy twist, crawl it forward, back knee lifts, level hips. Exhale, horizons lunge, knife edges of both feet. Again, we're keeping the leg lifted if you want. Inhale, come back to easy twist. Exhale, chaturanga, or just high plank to down dog if that calls to you. Inhale, up dog if you're taking it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to take our last round through the flow a little bit slower now that you've got that little paced up flow. We're going to take still linking breath to movement. We're going to try to expand the breath. So think of that right now. Take a deep, long breath in. Extra long breath out. It can be through your nose or through your mouth. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Try to think of filling up your belly and then your chest as you take a deep breath in. Expand deep, or exhale, deep breath out. Okay, we'll try to take that pace. So inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, easy twist. Exhale, horizons lunge. Inhale, easy twist. Exhale, chaturanga if you want it, or just hold and go back to down dog. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You might start to get a little oxygen high. Inhale, kick your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, easy twist. Exhale, horizons lunge. Inhale, easy twist. Exhale, chaturanga if you want it. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another deep breath in. Call on your manifestations. Deep breath out. And then inhale, look forward. Come on down to your knees. Take a little grounded seat. Take a little moment to absorb. Hands to your thighs. Close your eyes. Notice what's shifting. Notice how you're feeling a little maybe lightheaded from all that breath and oxygen. Again, we're always talking about allowing that lightheaded ethereal energy of the manifestation to be grounded. So whatever you're feeling that's up here in the cosmos, so to bring it back down into your body. Feel the sensation of your legs against the floor. Deep breath in. Call towards you what you want. Deep breath out. Let go of what you don't need and feel yourself sink back into your body. And then gently blink your eyes open. We've reached the point. We're going to use the blanket. So if you do have your blanket in your nice little rolled form, this is the one that I want you to use a blanket instead of something hard because we do want it to be kind of soft. You're going to take a moment here to take the blanket, and you're actually going to kind of test out the width of your blanket here. You're going to bring it up towards your belly, underneath your bottom ribs. And you're going to test out if you can get that blanket roll, feel cozy in between your hips and your bottom ribs. So if you feel like it's going too far up or too far down when you place it, so if you place it at the top of your hips and you feel like it's going too far up, if it's going above the little indentation that you can feel under your ribs, then you might want to roll it a slightly different way so you don't have quite as much thickness here. Maybe you double over only twice the second fold. So you do hamburger style and then hot dog style rather than thirds. But whatever you need to do to make this little roll fit to the top of your hips and really just like mine's just barely underneath the ribs, and that's kind of perfect there. Almost like you need to lift your ribs up and put it on top of the roll is what you're kind of looking for here. So something like that, ideally something that's still relatively thick as far as the height of the roll goes. And then you're going to send this down to the mat, and we're going to lay down into kind of a sphinx pose. So bring the tops of your hips to the base of that roll, and then allow your tops of your ribs to rest down on the top of the roll. Whew. Elbows out in front of you, heart reaching forward. And if this becomes too intense at any point, or if you've just had a big meal or something, you might decide to skip it. You can move it to the side whenever you want and just take a classic sphinx pose without the roll underneath you. But if you're hanging out with me here, really cozy yourself in, almost like you feel like that roll is kind of coming in up and underneath your ribs to massage your stomach and digestive organs. And then just notice how you kind of have to give way in your abdomen to sink into this roll. Woo. So just slowly start to soften the things that are bracing in your core and pressing that roll away so that you can let it sink into that space above your hips and below your rib cage. If it feels better to come even further down and give yourself a little pillow with your hands and rest your forehead down, feel free. It does make it a little more intense. If you are up on your elbows, just try to keep plugging your shoulders down your back so you're not hunching your ears into your earlobes or shoulders into your earlobes. Let the belly move with your breath. Oof. You might even start to feel your pulse pulsing back at you in your core. And again, this is for that Taurus season snackiness, but it's also a great reminder that you're a physical body because you feel a lot that's happening here. You remind yourself that there are internal organs. There's lots of things at play in this physical being that you're carrying around. But two, the core, particularly the upper and lower core that we're getting into here, are the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. Now, these are important energy centers for manifestation. They all are, but these are particularly important for manifestation because the solar plexus is your confidence, your sense of self and your confidence and your abilities to draw those manifestations towards you. Whereas the lower belly, your sacral chakra, is your creative center. It's where your manifestations are kind of sourced from within your being. And they're both lower chakras, so we're more grounded in the physical world. Ooh. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bunch of pulsing, continuing to relax the belly. If you're still with me with the rolled up blanket, deep breath in. Deep breath out as the belly relaxes. Maybe let yourself sink a little more into the blanket roll. One more. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you've got the blanket still underneath you, lift yourself up, forearms and knees, slide the blanket out so that you can come down to the mat. Take sphinx pose, elbows underneath your shoulders, heart reaching forward, shoulders down your back. Oh, that should feel easy peasy after having that blanket underneath you. Oh, let the belly move into the mat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And send your gaze down between your forefingers here. We'll give a little extra love to the neck. Drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Take half circles, chin down towards your chest, nice and slow. Back up the opposite side, nice and slow. Then take it back the opposite direction. And then gently melt your heart down. We'll do a little heart opening, shoulder opening to allow for that openness for the manifestations. Send your right arm straight out to the right side of the room, whatever that is for you. So you've got like a little airplane wing perpendicular to your body. Plant your left palm underneath your left shoulder and guide yourself over onto your right hip, scooting that right hip to the center of your mat so your hips stack. So just like we worked on having the hips stack when we were in that couch reclining pose, you want to try and stack them here. Rest your head down so your neck can relax. Again, super important to let that neck take a break during Taurus season. You can stay here if you want to take it deeper. You can pick your left foot up and place it on the earth behind your right knee and let that left knee draw a little heavier backwards. You can take a half bind if it calls to you and reach your left hand up and around the small of your back. Just imagine that that left hip has a little string connected to it and it's pulling it back and down towards the outer edge of your mat. Slow it down. Opening up the right shoulder, but also the right side of your chest. Again, come back to the manifestation or manifestations that you're calling in to your physical being. Take a deep breath in, let it fill up the right side of your chest, the right side of your heart. Deep breath out, let something go, clear some space. Then gently plant your left palm back underneath your left shoulder. Guide yourself back to your belly. You do not have to get up, but I'm going to flip myself around because I'm too close to the wall to take it the other side without doing so. But as you lie down onto the mat, send your left arm straight out to the left side of the room, airplane wing style. Plant your right palm underneath your right shoulder. Ooh, microphone pack. Got to get that out from underneath you. And guide yourself over for that shoulder stretch. Scoot your hip underneath one another. Again, you can stay here or you can place that right foot behind you. You can take the half bind. Ooh. Let your right hip drop back and down. And just like the other side, imagine you're opening up the left side of your chest and heart to something new. Breathe those manifestations into your open heart center. As you fill up with that rush of gratitude and emotions for what already is, even though you can't physically see it yet. Breathe out something that's making room for its physical presence in your life. And deep breath in, call it towards you. Deep breath out. Then plant your right palm back underneath your right shoulder. Guide yourself back over onto your belly and press yourself up to a tabletop position. Whew. As you find your way to a seat on your mat, we're going to take a little second here to set up. It's kind of your choice of the prop here. It depends on how high you need your prop to be. So block, bolster, block stack, foam roller, whatever you need. We're going to take this into a double pigeon. So I'll be your mirror image since I'm facing towards camera. So send your left shin parallel to the front edge of your mat, flexed ankle so that you have nice little 90 degree in the ankle and about 7 shape in that knee. And then take the right ankle on top of your left thigh, just below the knee. So if you're not familiar with double pigeon, the goal here is to find a triangle shape between your legs. And if the knee's up here, don't worry about it. If you do have a block or something to slide underneath it to support, you can take some support there. But the triangle between your legs means that your shins are trying to stack on top of one another, and that's what you want. You also want the knife edge of this top foot to hang off the edge of your thigh. If that's not accessible with both knees bent, extend your bottom leg. You want to do whatever you can to hook this ankle, because having that knife edge hanging off is just going to be the proper alignment. It's going to allow your hip to relax a little more, and you're not going to tweak your ankle in some weird position on top of your thigh. So find which one of those works for you. Again, you can find some support underneath that top knee if you would like. Close your eyes and find some grounding underneath your sit bones. Try to make it equal on either side. You can stay here. You can massage your top foot, or if you want a little more, you can start to fold forward. If you want it to be more active and stretchy, you can just fold forward with a flat back and try to keep your glutes grounded. You can even press the hands down in front of you to press your hips back. If you want it just to be a little juicier and more restorative, take something solid, place it underneath your forehead and round down. As you find the shape, if you've got both knees bent, try to keep your right or your left ankle underneath your right knee. So it's ankle over knee, or ankle just behind knee, and then knee over ankle. Take a few moments here to feel your sit bones ground down behind you. Again, the goal is to stay connected to the earth, to your physical presence here as a being on this planet. Manifestations mean nothing if you, well, no, actually, that's not true. Manifestations mean everything. They start at the level of emotion. And if you have manifested the emotion of something happening, you've actually successfully manifested something already. It's on its way to you. But most of us physical beings want to see it physically show up in our lives. So to our human selves, the manifestation means nothing until it's physical in our lives. And the only way we're going to get it there is to take all of these daydreams and embody them, bring them into the body, feel what they feel like even before they show up. Deep breath in. Soften your jaw, let go of the control, deep breath out. And then inhale, rise back up. You're going to switch out what leg is on top. So for all of you, if you followed the first cues, you're going to bring your right shin to the bottom, left ankle crossed on top. Again, just behind your knee, but the knife edge of your foot hanging off your thigh. If you need to extend the bottom leg, extend it. Try to stack the shins. Keep that bottom ankle underneath your knee. Close your eyes for a moment so you can find that equal rooting on both sides. Maybe you stay up and massage the foot. Maybe you fold forward with a flat back. Maybe you reach in front of you and press your hips back and down. Maybe you just let yourself melt. Relax your shoulders wherever you are. Soften your jaw. The only thing you truly have control over is your internal state. So if you need to control something, control the feeling that you have that's calling in that manifestation. Feel as if it already exists in your life. That is the only thing you can control. So let go of the jaw tension. You can't control the outside world. By shifting your energy, you will affect the outside world. But it's sometimes hard for Taurus energy to let go of the stubbornness that the world around them needs to revolve around their thought process. So as long as you can find that peace within you, you know that you're right for your own self, from your own intuition, you got to breathe everything else out. And inhale, rise back up. You can choose to either extend your legs out long in front of you, or if you want to take it into a straddle pose because your hips are feeling a little more open, you can split the legs apart. I know that straddle pose looks different on everyone. I've been dancing since I was 2. If you're not open this far or going as far towards the earth as I'm about to, do not judge yourself. There are plenty of postures that I can't do well. As you find this pose of a seated stretch, whether it be legs in front of you or straddle legs, start to send your hands either to your legs out in front of you or to the floor out in front of you and crawl yourself forward. Again, we're looking for enjoying the sensation. So what you want to do is ground the back of your legs down. So flex your feet and press the backs of your legs into the earth. And then just start to flat back, lean into it. You don't have to reach your toes if they're out in front of you. If you can, that's fine. But if you're rounding your back to get there, send the hands back further so you can keep an open heart. The flatter your back, the more your heart stays open towards the front part of your mat or your toes, the more you're going to feel this stretch. And it's also going to keep you from hunching your shoulders, which doesn't feel great. So think of a nice proud heart, shoulders down your back with your inhales. Feel the ground beneath your legs. and feel the hip creases give way for you to fold deeper on your exhale. Enjoy the stretch. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then inhale, slowly rise up. Take it to butterfly legs, soles of your feet together, knees out wide. Grab for your ankles or the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift up through your heart. Exhale, fold towards your legs. Maybe your elbows come to your thighs, maybe they don't. Again, proud heart, deep breath in. And deep breath out, relax your jaw. Again, we're letting go of that control. And then inhale, rise up. Come on down to the mat, lying belly up to the sky. We'll take it to some twists to help with those stacked digestion. So keep your right knee in, send your left leg long, hug that right knee outside your ribs, give a little massage to your side body, digestive organ activation. Deep breath in. Exhale, supine twist. Send that right knee towards the left side of your body. Stack your hips at the center of your mat as you glue your right shoulder down. Get that right knee about a 90-degree angle. And if you want a little more, you can use that left hand as a little counterweight against your thigh. But your goal is to keep your right shoulder grounded and then let gravity pull your leg heavier. If you want to twist to the neck for a little stretch there as well, gaze off to the right. And then inhale, come back through center, switch out the legs, left knee in, right leg long. Squeeze that left thigh to the outside of your ribs and hug it in. Massage your digestive organs. When you're ready, take it to the twist. Right hip underneath your left. Glue your left shoulder down. Maybe turn your gaze. Allow gravity to take over. Again, enjoy the sensation and melt into the pose. Let go of the need to control. Surrender. I know it sounds scary, but it feels delicious. Then bring your legs back through center and give yourself one last hug. Little appreciation for your physical being and everything it does for you. Deep breath in. Exhale, surrender into Shavasana. Shoulders underneath you, arms to your sides. If you need to come out of this resting posture, we are reaching the hour marker. So if that's all you allowed yourself for this practice, you can. But I encourage you, if you have the time, to stay here. I'm not going to guide you out, because this practice was all about really staying connected to your manifestations and the feelings. And now that you've exhausted your body, this Shavasana is a great time to check in with your mind, with your active intuition. Again, just because it's grounded advice doesn't mean that it's not intuitive. So absorb some of that Taurus psychic energy. Think of the manifestations that you're calling in, visualize them, feel them in your body. Deep breath in. Let go of what you don't need. Deep breath out. And maybe you linger here and let go of some of the need to control the outcomes. And ask that your intuition guide you towards visions of your future, or the next right actions that you need to take to make these dreams happen. I hope that you've enjoyed these practices and that you get everything that you're calling in.